Hey everybody, how's it going? For this week's discount offer, we have this Ford Shelby GT500 from the last year. So we get 30% off the car if you don't own it for the purchase price, and 30% off um, upgrades, right? So the car normally costs some, I want to say 450 gold. So if you don't take advantage of this opportunity this week, then the next best thing I suppose would be the showcase discount, since the car does have a bonus series it's featured in along with other cars. So you can get 20% off, which would run you 360 gold, but obviously 30% off this week get you extra some 40 gold off, 45, so you can get it for 315 gold. That is total savings of 135 gold there. And let's see, normally fully upgrading this car would cost you some 660 gold and 1.7 million racing dollars. So if you take advantage of the 30% off upgrades offer, then you save just under 200 gold, like 198 gold, I believe, is the 30% of 660, the total upgrade cost. So you'll end up spending 462 gold instead of 660, right? And like as opposed to 1.7 million, you'll be spending closer to 1.2 million racing dollars to max out this car. And you don't necessarily have to max out this car in order to participate in the or 100% complete the bonus series this car's featured in, Unstoppable Supercars of America, which you can find under Master section. And I actually have already posted the series overview for that series on my channel. So if you guys are interested in that one, I'll post a link to that video. So check that out. But for this video, let's check out the exclusive series the car is featured in. Alright, so it's been in the game since the version 9.0. And of course, you have to fully upgrade the car to unlock this bonus series, which pays out a total reward of some 75 gold and 150,000 racing dollars. Alright. So Ford Shelby GT500 from production year 2020, a supercharged reimagining of a singularly iconic American classic. Well, the Mustang, so yes, right? The muscle cars, right? So here is the breakdown of the rewards, broken down into 25% completion increments. So the first 25% completion, which will mean this series has 20 tiers. So with the 3 time trial tiers, as you can see. So that means there are 54 events total. So if you, for the first 25% completion, you need to complete basically 14 events. That could be 13 trophy events, like win 13 gold trophies and 1 time trial. Could be just 14 gold trophies. Could be really any combination. As long as you get 14 done, that should be good enough for 25% completion, which pays, as you can see, 8 gold and some 15,000 racing dollars. So, I mean, it's not a series that you're gonna come out net positive in your gold account, even though the car is one of the more less expensive cars. So yeah, it's not like the older cars where some of those where you can come out ahead by fully upgrading the car and then completing the exclusive series. So this is not one of them, because the car is obviously from last year. The new cars, we don't get that kind of offer, unfortunately. Anyway, so that is first 25% completion. 50% completion will require completion of 27 events. So if you kind of work from your left to right, from tier 1 to, work your way through like you would run through normal series, then that would be like 25 gold trophies and 2 time trials that you have to complete. But obviously, exclusive series, you can bounce around and get quicker events done first to claim easy rewards if you want. Right, so so 27 events complete that get you 15 gold and 30,000 racing dollars for those the 50% completion. And then of course next increment is a 75% completion. That is gonna require 41 events complete, or 38 trophies, gold trophies, and all 3 time trials complete. And they'll pay out 22 gold and 45,000 racing dollars additional. And of course, 100% completion. Well, you gotta complete 100% everything, right? 51 gold trophies and 3 time trials for additional 30 gold and 60,000 racing dollars. So that's the sort of the breakdown of how you can claim the completion rewards in this series. And let's see, the base PR for this car starts at 46.9. When you max it out, it does go out, it taps out at 65. So that actually got a 0.1 PR point bump on the max PR since the car's been introduced. So the service time, 3 hours for some 1,500 racing dollars. If you have to count the racing dollars, you probably need to farm a bit more. But anyway, the car, if you don't own the car, or if you haven't spent any resources on upgrades, tier 1 upgrades are the only racing dollar upgrades available on this car. So it's the typical, like tier 1 is a racing dollar, tier 2 is your gold, tier 3 is back to racing dollars, and so on, right? So racing dollar only upgrades, which cost you 369,900 racing dollars, will bring your PR up to 51.5. But obviously, that's not a thing when we're talking about exclusive series, since you need to max out the PR anyway. So that's the cost association. Well, and then let's see. Since we're talking about numbers, so if you don't own the car, have no upgrades, and you want to complete this exclusive series, what's it gonna cost you? Well, right now, this week, with the 30% off, it'll cost you 315 gold to buy the car and 460 gold additional to fully upgrade. So that is what, like some almost 800, just under 800, so 777 gold, is that right? Yeah, 777 gold is total cost to max out this car if you don't own or anything, right? Now, and this car is featured on as one of the weekly time trial cars this week as well. So obviously, there is potential for 100, or possibly, if you're really good, 300 gold using the car maxed out. I haven't run this week's time trial yet, so I don't know if this is necessarily going to be a top dog, but there's always a potential, right? So so if you get 300 gold knocked off there by landing rank A, the 0.1, top 0.1%, then boy, that brings down your cost of upgrades significantly, doesn't it? But realistically, most of us, 99.9% of us don't land in that category for obvious reason. So vast majority of us not gonna have that kind of return. So I would not necessarily, buy the car in order to score big in the weekly time trial. But yeah, so that's the cost and the 777 gold, right now. Otherwise, under normal circumstances, it's gonna cost you like 450 gold to buy the car and 660 additional gold to fully upgrade. So that means 1100 gold total. So yeah, that's pretty steep. That's almost like the cost of the car twice, right? So if you can afford it and if you like these car, this is kind of that middle of the road, 60 PR range car featured in the Master section of the game. So the bonus series is in Master section, Unstoppable Supercars of America, as I was mentioning earlier. Bonus series, you have to own all the cars featured in for 100% completion. So if you own the others, like the Dodge Hellcat, Chevy Corvette ZR1, and the older 2016 Shelby GT350R, and this one, then you can 100% complete that bonus series and win additional 57 gold. But, yeah. So, as I was saying, the potential to win back what you spend is the ratio is not in our favor. Let's put it that way. All right, let's talk about the series itself. We got, as I said, 54 events total, 20 tiers, 3 time trials. Tier 5 is the first time trial taking place at Silverstone Grand Prix. And with this guy, looks like minute 37 is gonna be landing you some. That's at the top spot. Yeah, that's a really good time with this car. Anyway, and then the tier 10 is the second time trial taking place at Daytona. So this one, minute 27. All right, so it's a road course, by the way, of Daytona International Speedway. Difficult circuit, in my opinion. And the last time trial in this exclusive series takes place at Nurburgring Grand Prix. And it's going to take minute 34. So Daytona is the quickest one. And Silverstone 137, right? So the Nurburgring is middle. And Silverstone Grand Prix being the longest. But they're relatively close. They're about minute 40, minute 30, depending on which circuit, right? So, yeah. So those are 3 time trials. Now, of course, every non-time trial tier does have cup. So that's 17 cup total, or cups total. So we'll cover that in a little bit, but let's cover the other variety type events like Autocrosses, which there are 6 of them in this exclusive series, starting with a tier 1. This one at the Dubai Club Circuit, as you can see. And then next time you see Autocross, it's going to be in tier 6 at Mount Panorama. And the third instance is in tier 9 at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix. And then the fourth instance, you'll see it in tier 14 at Formula E Berlin Circuit. And the fifth iteration is going to be in tier 18 at Melbourne, the other Australian circuit in the game. And finally, the last one in tier 20 at Laguna Seca under the California sun. So those are 6 autocrosses. And this series does have 3 drag races. First one at tier 4, as you can see, at Porsche Test Track Long On-Road Circuit. Tier 12 is the second one. This one at Circuit of the Americas Grand Prix. And then the last one in tier 19 at Suzuka East. So, kind of like a bit of a, what would you call it, continent hopping there. Right? So Yeah, 3 drag races. And next category, we got eliminations. We got 4 of them. Starting with the first tier 3 at Berlin. And second one, you'll find it in tier 6, taking place at Red Bull Ring National. And the third iteration is in tier 11, taking place at Bugatti Circuit. And then the final elimination takes place, or as you'll find it in tier 16, taking place at Hockenheim National. All right, endurance would be the next category. So let's take a look. Endurance, we got 5 of them. First one you'll find in tier 3 at the Catalunya National. And the tier 9 is the second instance, taking place at Porsche Test Track Dynamic Circuit. And then tier 13 is the third one, taking place at Monza Junior Course. And then the fourth one, you'll find it in tier 16 at the 24-hour circuit, Le Mans. And the last one, you'll find it in the final tier, tier 20, at Red Bull Ring Grand Prix. So 5 endurances. So those can be pretty lengthy for obvious reasons. If you log off the Facebook or whatever social network you're using and kind of race offline, enable the airplane mode and whatnot, then you can usually minimize the distance that you have to travel by just racing against flag bots, which typically maximum distance that you have to travel is usually 10 kilometers at most. So yeah, obviously those are pretty easy then. But otherwise, if you have to race against TSM bots, then it can get pretty lengthy and very difficult at times. Anyway, next category, we got head-to-head. We got 4 of those single lapper head-to-head races, starting with the tier 2, taking place at Laguna Seca. And then tier 7 at Nurburgring Grand Prix. And then the next instance in tier 11 at Silverstone International. And the last one, you'll find it in tier 18 at Monza Road Course. All right, and on to Hunter. All right, so we got 4 Hunters. First one in tier 4, taking place at Spa. And then next one, tier 8, taking place at Hockenheim Short. And the third instance, tier 13 at Brands Hatch Indy Circuit, of course. And then finally, tier 17, taking place at Mount Panorama. And speed record, we got 4 of those. Starting the series, right? So tier 1, taking place at Brickyard Road Course, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And then tier 7 is the second one, taking place at Melbourne. And then third one is going to be at tier 12, Catalunya Club Circuit. And then the last one in tier 17, taking place at Silverstone National. All right, the other speed event, Speed Snap. All right, we got 4 of those. Tier 2 is where you'll find the first one, taking place at Daytona Road Course. Second one at tier 8, taking place at the other American NASCAR circuit, Indianapolis Motor Speedway Road Course. And then the third instance in tier 14, taking place at Spa. And then the last one in tier 19, taking place at Leipzig's Porsche Test Track Short On-Road Circuit. All right, so that covers all the variety events. So now let's talk about the big ones, the main events, right? Cup. So tier 1 Cup takes place at Monza Junior Course, and it's going to be a 5-lapper. And tier 2 Cup takes place at Hockenheim Grand Prix, 3-lap Cup. So that's, for this car, I would say it's going to be a decent length race. And Tier 3, we got Cup at Suzuka West, 4-lap Cup. Kind of a medium length circuit, right? And then Tier 4, we got Cup at Circuit of the Americas Club Circuit, 6 laps. So that's a pretty short circuit. And Tier 6, we got Cup at Brands Hatch, 8-lapper. So that's also a pretty short circuit. Tier 7, we got the 24-hour circuit, 2 laps around the longest circuit in the game. And Tier 8, we got Cup at Dubai Club Circuit, 6 laps. That's a fun little circuit. Tier 9, Cup takes place at Bathurst Mount Panorama, 3 laps. Yeah, with this car, I don't know if I want something terribly long. I feel like a shorter circuit with a higher lap count would be more fun. Anyway, Tier 11, we got a Cup at Suzuka Grand Prix. It's gonna be a 4-lap Cup, so that's one of the longest Grand Prix circuits in the game. So yeah, not sure what I think about that. Suzuka is fun. You know what? It's all good. All right. Tier 12, Cup takes place at Nurburgring Sprint Circuit, 7 laps. So that's, I would say, a relatively small circuit. Tier 13 is going to take place, or the Cup is going to take place at Laguna Seca, also another 7-lap. That's going to be fairly comparable to the Sprint Circuit Nurburgring Cup. Both kind of, I would say, medium length circuit. Tier 14 Cup takes place at Catalunya Grand Prix, and this one is a 6-lap Grand Prix Cup, so pretty lengthy as we come towards the later part of this exclusive series. Tier 16, we got the Cup at Circuit of the Americas National Circuit, 8 laps, so not the longest circuit, but 8 laps. It's gonna, that's gonna be a fun one. And Tier 17, we got Daytona Motorcycle Course Cup, and it's gonna be 7-lapper. I don't know. I Daytona, I just don't find it as much fun to race at for some reason. Maybe it's the fact that it's down in Florida. No offense. Anyway, moving on. I'll just leave it at that. Tier 18, we got Cup at Dubai Grand Prix, 6 laps. So that's a good, fun circuit. So looking forward to that. Tier 19, we got Cup at Spa. Well, Spa is, one of the most picturesque circuits they have in the game. So that's always a pleasure to race there. 6 laps is pretty long though. Especially with a car this class. It's not exactly a very fast car. All right. And then the final Cup, Tier 20, takes place at Silverstone Bridge Grand Prix, and it's going to be another 8-lapper. So, all right. So that is the quick rundown of this exclusive series. So hopefully you guys found the information useful, entertaining, whatever. And yeah, I'll try to get going and showcase some of the, I guess, actual races in this series in videos coming up. So stay tuned and we'll catch you guys in the next video. All right, take care.